Melee is a fascinating game, dude. It's been in a constant state of dying, or should be dead, like every time I think about it, right? And somehow there's still tournaments and there's still people playing and it still gets pretty good viewership. Like how Smash Ultimate saw a dip in interest because of Street Fighter 6, but Melee is untouched because Melee people are in love with Melee and will never touch another game. I mean, I think people will always like eventually like kind of lean towards like a different thing over the course of time. But I think I've stopped watching Melee. I think when I first started getting good at the game, I watched a lot of Melee, and like I was super interested in like the rivalries and like tournaments, and like the people and stuff were cool. Melee's still a pretty fun game to watch. Yeah, I think so. Like I think like visually, right? Like it's cool to see a lot of the interactions that happen. I haven't watched a lot of Melee like in a while. I've almost entirely stopped watching Melee. Whenever it shows up on streams now, I'm just not too interested in it. And I think a big problem that I have now is that all of the top players that I knew when I was getting into it, like, just quit. Armada doesn't play anymore. Mewtwo King, I don't even think he plays anymore. Mango is like, I mean, he still plays, but like, that's like the only like exception is like watching Mango play because he's just raw. Right? Yeah, PP doesn't play. Leffen is like kind of playing. He does like mostly his own thing, but like his focuses are clearly not Melee, right? And like it was extremely interesting at that time. The rivalries were super cool, and like there was conflicting play styles, and there was a larger character pool, I'd say. It was fun. It was like I'd say like the golden age for me personally. And then like people started quitting, and it kind of sucked, right? But it was understandable. Melee's an old game. They're getting older. There's other stuff to do. It became interesting because then you had people like Zane and IBDW who were coming in and challenging that top talent. It's like this story of like this like these up and comers and stuff. That was cool because like everyone knows like the Five God era. It was Dr. Peepee, Armada, Mewtwo King, Mango. I'm forgetting someone. I shouldn't be forgetting someone. I feel like it's someone really obvious. H-Box. Wow, how did I forget H-Box? He's like still relevant. H-Box kind of filled like this like villain role where like he was like extremely important in that meta because he was like the common enemy, and as f***ed up as that sounds, like it helps unite the people and like creates like a sense of like everyone like agreeing on something. Hungrybox must lose. Up, but it is what it is. So that part was really cool. And then you have Leffen, who's like the God Slayer. He's like the first guy or something to beat all 5 of those players. And then slowly you have other players who like start to reach that like level, like Amsa, for example, IBDW, Zane, all people that like are really good. But part of what made Melee interesting were those like original 5 people to me. So I just didn't care to continue watching, you know. Like I didn't care that IBDW like beat Hungrybox again because like I don't know, it's not any of the people I care about. I love the Mango Zane rivalry, but honestly, that's only because Zane is like a super funny guy and he's like actually extremely interesting. If you ask me about any of the current like Melee top players, I don't know about them. I don't know like who's cool, who's funny. It's just interest for the game has dwindled over time. That's just normal. It's sad, but it's normal. Part of why I wanted to bring it up because apparently something about IBDW mentioning that he wants to retire. You're gonna see a lot more of that in the coming years. I'm pretty sure. Actually, if I look at Twitch right now, what's Mango doing? I think I saw him live. Is he playing Street Fighter? Yeah, he's playing Street Fighter. You can't see it, but hold on. Street Fighter 6. That's Joey? Oh, that makes sense. But I mean, okay, but Mango does play Street Fighter. I know, I've seen him talking about it. But you understand the point I'm trying to make. When Smash players say they're retiring, they really don't most of the time. Yeah, that is very true. I think with Melee it's a different case though, because most of the time they're like actually adults that are looking to move on with their lives. Also, I think what really sucked for Melee, that's going to expedite its going away, is Summit no longer being a thing. The biggest Melee tournament every year was Summit, and now there is no more Summit. Unless Ludwig could do Summits. I do think that if someone was to like keep Melee relevant, it would be like Ludwig, because he cares about it, he likes it. It's where he came from, I'm pretty sure. Do I reckon it's a problem with esports as a whole more than just Melee? Yeah, I've talked about this issue before too. This is like an overall kind of thing that's happening. That really sucks for esports as a whole. I'll put this into context for you guys. So, most of the time, esports teams pick up Smash players. There is no return on investment. So basically what that means is like the team that's investing in like, we'll say picking up like Leo, they're not making their money back by signing Leo. They spend a lot of money on him just to have him on the team, but he's not like selling merch, and he's not just like he's not making them a lot of money, right? And that's Smash Ultimate, which is infinitely the more like popular game by far. So if Smash Ultimate is not making money, Melee is making absolutely nothing, right? The next best thing, right, if you want to try and make money, it's like YouTube videos, I think is the best way to put it. Like making a YouTube is the easiest way to turn a profit on a top player you just signed or something. And like, I think Panda's team was like huge, and I don't even know if they were like turning a profit by the end of everything. There was a profit in some way, and there was a profit to be made at least at some point if they kept going down the path they were going. And that's just like very rare to happen. So the way to look at it is if esports teams are picking up Smash players, they're just shiny cards. It's like, ooh, we have a Smash player. Isn't that really cool? Like if you're not getting first place at the 3 tournaments they have a year and you're not making YouTube content, then you can't live off of Melee. Like TSM dropped Tweak over it. Yeah, that's why you see a lot of like Leo got dropped, Tweak got dropped, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm talking about Smash as a whole in general, but like everything that I'm mentioning, it hits Melee even harder because they're already like a struggling to survive game. It's a cool game, and it's beautiful that it's lasted this long. Don't get me wrong. I think Melee is sick. Melee was not struggling at all until the Panda stuff happened. What do you mean Melee was not struggling at all? Loads of new players. New players doesn't mean that like a game is thriving. Like having majors and stuff is very nice, but like interest for the game won't keep it alive. Like love for the game is never going to be in question when it comes to Melee, right? Melee's a cool game. I expect it to just keep going like on that downward slope. Like something big needs to happen. Like Ludwig needs to like announce something, right? But again, I foresee like also the viewership and interest in Melee dying because the 2 like most interesting players right now that play the game, we'll say 3 actually, because Hungrybox has developed a more positive fan base over the years, especially the most recent years. It's Hungrybox, Mango, and Zane. Those are like the only 3 people that like have like big fan bases, but that's it. Like you can't get them to go to every tournament. Mango has a family. Hungrybox mostly focuses on Ultimate. I'm assuming Zane's just gonna go to everything. Moki's got a big fan base, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. Remember, take everything I say with a grain of salt. I don't know everything about Melee. I'm not super invested in the scene. A lot of the top is relatively new blood, not the legacy talent anymore. Yeah, like there's times where I'll look at like a Melee top 8 and I'm like, who? I don't. Is this top 8? Yeah, I don't know who Null is. I only know Fiction because people roast him on Twitter for like wearing the same clothes all the time. Obviously, I know Magi and Zane. SCJ and like Kadorn was like someone I randomly saw just like got into Summit and he started getting wins, but also like I don't know about him. You know, I actually haven't even mentioned this about Melee, surprisingly. It destroys your hands. Like, it's not even good to play for a long time. These players are hurting themselves. Yeah, that's basically all I gotta say. Like, it sucks that the top players are quitting. The current top players are like, who? You know? I mean, if you love Melee, all you could do is just continue to watch it and support it any way you can. That's it.